I mean, I feel like when somebody comes to you with an amplifier called the Purple Nightmare, that it's probably not something you're going to want to take on a jazz gig. But you'd be very surprised how versatile and how feature packed this thing really is. My name is Jeremy Kroll. I am a producer, engineer, mixer, multi instrumentalist, and composer. I do a lot of stuff. The Driftwood Company I've known about for the last 2 years or so. And as far as I know, they're built in Germany by a guy who I think is from Poland. And it's a fairly small operation, as far as I know. And I didn't really think much of it when I first heard about them because I had only seen them, I hadn't heard them, I didn't really have much to go on. And it wasn't until a trusted friend and colleague of mine was using one and had then eventually worked with the company developing some new modifications and features for it that I really started to take notice, because he had been singing the praises of them and using them on a lot of really big records and was generally pretty blown away with what the amp could do. So when I was given the chance to demo the amp and make some content with it and live with it for a bit, I kind of jumped at it. The feature set of this amp is huge. It is different than you'd expect. Usually when people talk about versatile and heavily equipped amplifiers, they immediately go toward the amp having like a billion channels. And this kind of is not the case. I mean, the Purple Nightmare only has 2 channels, but it's everything that surrounds it that makes it so versatile and so usable for so many different styles and sounds. And they really made every single piece of it something that can be used. There's nothing that is a throwaway about this amp. This would probably be a much longer video if I were to fully detail everything included in this design, but the best thing you could do is go to Driftwood's website and look it all over. And then you would see all the information about the hybrid power section, or the built-in tube screamer boost, which doesn't sound like any other OD that you would put in front of an amp, or the independent master volumes, or the tube buffered effects loop, or the noise gate, or the individual patch points for every feature of the amp on the back. You get the idea. I had the amp in my house for about a week and a half before I started writing and making the music with it that you hear and see on this video. So I had time to live with it and to sort of dial it in and understand how it functioned and how it responded. And I could say straight out that it is an absolutely brutal, ruthless sounding high gain amp. It's amongst the most aggressive high gain amps I've ever used or heard. And it really just, it kills, honestly. The flip side to that, though, is that the clean channel is extraordinary sounding for an amplifier of any kind, really. I mean, it's a beautiful high headroom, very broad clean. But for this kind of a clean to be found inside of a high gain amplifier is pretty much, non-existent. That doesn't really happen ever. So for them to have harnessed that into one head shell is kind of a really big deal. The setup for making this video was really simple, and what you're hearing is really not much. I mean, it was a guitar with passive pickups right into the amplifier, and then the amplifier went into the 2 notes torpedo reload, which is a load box, right into my computer, into the 2 notes wall of sound plugin, doing different cab simulations for each of the tones, and usually not more than 1 microphone per cabinet. And even in the mix of the final audio that you're hearing, there's no EQ boosted at all, and nothing cut with any parametric notches or anything. It's just filters. So what you're hearing in that audio is really the essence of that amp. And I really wouldn't have it any other way. If you're going to watch a video to see what an amp sounds like, I'm not going to do a bunch of trickery to make it sound all, insane. I mean, it should sound insane by itself, and it very much does. It continues to impress me, and I would love to have something like this in my arsenal, at least. And I think most people that check this thing out would probably feel the same. This exact amplifier has all of the modifications that the company offers on their designs. It also has a incredibly beautiful purple flame maple faceplate on it, and you can purchase this very amplifier from destroyallguitars.com.